Hello everyone, my name is Geet Jodka, and welcome to our second Sammamish Teen Science Cafe POV series talk. The Science POV series is aimed at bringing student experts in various science fields to not only talk about what they are passionate about, but also how they explore such interesting avenues of science as a high schooler or as a college student. We are doing this series virtually, of course, because of the COVID-19 pandemic. We hope all of you and your families are staying safe. Today's speaker is Krithikaa Premnath. Krithikaa is a rising junior at Dougherty Valley High School who loves science, history, and the arts. She is the digital manager of the Future Surgeons Journal Club, a journal club formed by attending surgeons dedicated to teaching pre-med and medical students how to read and analyze surgical literature. She is also on the research team for SurgeryTalk, a student-run organization dedicated to inspiring and educating youth looking to become surgeons. Krithikaa is very passionate about social and political issues and has always been interested in biology since she was a child. She has developed a passion for medical chemistry, specifically targeting anticancer therapeutics. So, without further ado, please welcome Krithikaa Premnath.
Hi everyone, my name is Krithikaa Premnath, and today I'm going to be talking about the importance of medicinal chemistry and drug development, and specifically my research pertaining to the small molecule inhibitors of kinesin EG5. So essentially, I'm going to start with my introduction, so how I originally got interested in science. Ever since from a young age, I've always been interested in biology and chemistry, and that led to my research that I'm doing today. I'm also going to talk about what is medicinal chemistry, since it's not really talked about a lot in school, and how it affects drug development systems. And then I'm going to go into my own personal anti-cancer research, which specifically pertains to the small molecule kinesin EG5 inhibitors that I work with. And then I'm going to talk about how to get into researching, so cold emailing, internships, research programs, etc., and how you can get access to those, along with recommendations for what to research in these specific areas. And then I'm just going to wrap up the presentation. So first, to tell you guys a little bit about myself, I originally started in the STEM field with robotics. So I participated in a competition called Junior FLL and FLL. And so that was sort of my opening to science and mathematics and engineering and technology. But I found that mainly biology was my passion through the North-South Foundation, which essentially is a foundation that I was a part of in New Jersey, where I used to live. And so there would be these competitions, so like science bees or brain bees, public speaking bees, spelling bees, etc. And so I was mainly focused on the science and neuroscience bees. And so I found that I would tend to win a lot of those competitions. And I eventually found that it was really fun to learn about biology, neuroscience, how our bodies work, what we can do, etc. And so because of that, that led me to attend the neuroscience camp, which is a part of the Center for Talented Youth offered by Johns Hopkins University in New York a couple of summers ago, which has, again, initiated me to become the captain of my National Science Bowl team in middle school, and we won a couple of awards regionally and locally. And then I also was eager to learn more, so I decided to take AP Biology in 8th grade, along with attend the Modern Medicine, Disease, and Immunology class as a part of Duke TIP 2 summers ago. So you might be sitting here thinking, what is medicinal chemistry? And so this is the definition from the American Chemical Society, but essentially it's focused on the drug discovery and development of a variety of pharmaceuticals or therapeutics, etc. So it's kind of a bridge between chemistry and the typical applied medicine, as you see doctors or nurses or any sort of healthcare professionals work. And so, for example, this molecule on the right here is called Gossypol. It is a kinesin EG5 inhibitor, and I'll tell you guys a little bit about kinesin EG5. So this is my research regarding monasterol and a couple of other small molecule inhibitors of kinesin EG5. So I'm sure that you guys have all been aware of mitosis. It is the process of cellular reproduction in cells. So as you can see here, there's a parent cell, again, DNA replication, and then the 4 stages of mitosis: prophase, metaphase, anaphase, and telophase, which eventually leads to 2 daughter cells. And so in these 4 stages, metaphase is a stage where the chromosomes, as you guys probably know, are all lined up in the center of the cells with the spindle fibers attached to all of them. And so a key protein that's vital to the process of mitosis, especially the pulling apart of the chromosomes, is kinesin EG5, because that's what's used in the spindle fiber. And so you can see kinesin EG5 at the bottom at the bottom left there with monastrol bound to it. And so monastrol is a compound that was discovered at the Tim Mitchison lab in 1999 in Harvard Medical School. It was discovered during a high throughput screen, essentially where they screened a bunch of molecules, and then monastrol found to be very potent as an anti-cancer therapeutic. And so you can see it's a dihydropyrimidine thione. So you can see the two NH groups, the double bonded S, which is a thione, you have an ester, and then you have the aldehyde. And so the effect of monastrol on cells can easily be shown here, which is a figure taken directly from the science paper, the original Tim Mitchison paper. So on the top row, you can see the normal mitotic functions, where the blue is the chromosomes and the green is the spindle fibers. So you can see how they're all arranged in the middle of the cell, sort of on the metaphase plate. And then you can see on the right how the cells actually look. However, on the bottom, once monastrol was added, you can see the spindle fibers sort to point outwards with the chromosomes aligned around the outwards, almost in a circular shape. And so this is completely abnormal and eventually halts the process of mitosis. And so if you really think about what cancer is, it's mainly the replication or the over-replication of cells. So that's what causes tumors, that's what causes metastasis, etc. And so what our job is, or what we're aiming to do, is to try and find a molecule that works similar to monastrol, but even better than monastrol, and will eventually inhibit cell replication or excess cell replication as found in cancer. And so what we did, we created these dihydropyrimidine analogs of monastrol. And so the dihydropyrimidine, a general structure of it is shown on the top right there, where again you have the NH groups, the double bond, and then you have sort of an ester, kind of, and then you have the double bond and the methyl group, etc. Right? And so you can see at the bottom the analogs that we created. Analogs meaning compounds that are structurally similar. And so we altered two main parts. We altered the aryl group right here, and so this ARC group, and then we also altered the ester group. And so we used two ester groups, the methyl and the ethyl, methyl being one extra hydrocarbon chain and the ethyl being two. And then we altered the aryl groups used up here. So monastrol itself, as you can see right here, has a 3-hydroxy, hydroxy meaning the OH group. It has a 3-hydroxy on this position right here. And so what we thought, we could use either just a plain phenyl ring, which is just this benzene right here, or we could use a 3-hydroxyl, a 4-methoxyl, 4-hydroxyl, 3-methoxyl, etc. And so what we thought we could do is synthesize these in the lab using organic chemistry, and then we could eventually use in vivo testing, meaning we can test them in cells to see how well they work. And if there's a specific compound that tends to do better than the other compounds, then we could do either further research into that, or we would know that that's a potent anti-cancer inhibitor. And so we were originally planning to use these compounds, if there was a hit compound, on yeast cells or even cancer cells, now that we have some. But because of the coronavirus pandemic, we're unable to go into lab and finish our research. However, this research is still ongoing to this day. And so what I'm sure most of you are here for is how to get into research. And so there are a lot of ways that you can get into research, but the 4 main ways are cold emailing, through internships, through research programs, and try to have contacts with professors. So the first one that I originally tried when I was in 8th grade, which is a little bit young, but especially if you're a high school, like a rising junior, a rising senior, this should not be as much of a problem. So look at local colleges. For example, I live in the Bay Area, so there's plenty of local colleges near me, but I'm sure most of you live in Sammamish, which is up in Washington. So if there's any local community colleges there, or any just local big colleges, etc., I would recommend to contact different professors and their assistants who do research that you are very interested in. So if you're interested in neuroscience, contact some professors who do neuroscience research. If you're interested in medicinal chemistry, contact professors who do that sort of work. But it all depends on what you're really interested in. So you could always cold email, and there's plenty of templates online. So you just shoot an email to them saying who you are, what you want to do, how you want to do it, and just a little bit about yourself. And then depending on your professor's availability, you'll be able to do research that way. Or you could also look at internships. So there's this great site called College Confidential. And essentially it has a lot of information, not only on how to get into research, but just about the whole college applying process in general. And so I'm sure that there's plenty of internships on there. So I really suggest doing your research on what's available not only to you, but maybe in the future if you're not at the right age yet. But it's a plethora of resources for you there. The third option is to find a research program. Again, you can find plenty of stuff from college confidential, but also talk to people around you. And so what a research program will allow you to do, it's more of a structured type of program where you'll have a specific advisor or a principal investigator, or you will have specific people that you have to work with and the specific things that you have to do. The fourth way is to be an assistant for a professor. So again, contact local professors, see if they need help, see if you can, just try and network in general, try and get exposure. That's the one big thing that I've discovered through all of this. So as per the different types of research that you can do per field, for biology, a lot of it can either be, environmental research, or you can do genetic research, or you can sort of branch into medicinal research. For medicinal research, I don't think it's not as accessible, especially for our high school students, because of, for example, HIPAA laws, and there's a lot of barriers between being able to do medicinal level research in high school. But I'm sure that once you get into undergrad or graduate school, you can definitely do a lot of research for that. And then as for the humanities, I personally don't do a lot of research as part of the humanities, but I'm sure that a lot of it is just doing your own research. So looking at past literature, reading past papers, just getting familiarized with the history of whatever you're learning about. And this can apply for all types of research. But I feel like the main thing is just to branch out and network so that people can not only understand your presence, but also that you can understand how it really is going in the professional field of whatever you're interested in. And so essentially, I really want to stress the importance of research in high school, because I know a bunch of undergrad students and graduate students who have told me that doing research, or very extreme level research in high school, is amazing, because not only does it prep you for college and your college experience, but it also helps boost what you learn, because obviously it is research, you're learning things, but it helps you with not only mentally, but also physically. So for example, like knowing specific skills, like for me personally, I have learned so many organic chemistry skills, and it's really gonna help me in the future. But also you take your matters into your own hands. So for research, it's not very, you don't know the answer before you start research, which I feel like especially in schools, so like AP Bio or AP Chemistry, you already know the answer to whatever you're researching. But doing hands-on research and research at a higher level, you don't know the answer to it, there's never a limit of questions. There's always questions that need to be answered in the research field, which I feel like is such a big thing. And so it's always just, you got to be open to learning more. And for me personally, in the future, I am planning on continuing my research with my small molecule inhibitors of kinesin EG5, along with a variety of other topics. And I recommend that you guys all do the same. So hopefully this was helpful for you all. My Instagram is @Krithikaa Premnath, and I'm pretty sure they tagged me in the post for the Sammamish Teen Science Cafe Instagram page. They tagged me in the post, which was promoting this talk. So just DM me if you have any questions, but I hope this was helpful to all of you. And I want to thank the Sammamish Teen Science Cafe students and members for for giving me this opportunity. But I hope this was helpful for everybody. Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much, Krithikaa, for the insightful and inspiring presentation. We truly enjoyed learning about your research in finding effective treatments for cancer. Medical chemistry is fascinating. If you have any questions for Krithikaa or just want to reach out, be sure to reach out on her social media, or you can email us your questions at sammamishtscn@outlook.com or DM us on our Instagram at sammamishtscn, and we would be happy to connect with all of you. All of it will be linked in our description. And thank you to everyone who joined us today. We truly hope that you enjoyed the second talk in a series of many this summer. As this is a series, we have to shout out our next talk in the series on Tuesday, July 28th at 4 p.m. PST. We have a talk from the amazing Kristen Yee on exploring gravitational waves in the stellar graveyard. Be sure to join that talk and the many more to come during the summer on Tuesdays at 4 p.m. You can stay up to date with us on our Instagram, and be sure to subscribe our YouTube channel. Thank you all once again, and stay safe.